Thank you for joining me for another episode of Something from the Margin of My Bible. This note comes from Philippians chapter 3, and after Paul has told them to rejoice in the Lord in verse 1, he writes this verse: "Look out for the dogs, look out for the evildoers, look out for those who mutilate the flesh." Now, the note that I have I actually have a couple on this verse, but the one I'm going to share in this episode comes from that word mutilate. Again, I'll read the verse in totality. Look out for the dogs, look out for the evildoers, look out for those who mutilate the flesh. I've boxed in the word mutilate. And out to the side, it's a very brief note, but I have two little phrases. The first phrase is play on words. And then the second phrase is literally, quote, to cut around. So the idea here is he is using the visual concept, Paul is, of circumcision. In fact, in the very next verse, verse 3, he will say, "For we are the circumcision." So he's using a play on that on that word. So again, I've blocked in the word mutilate, and out to the side, I've written two little phrases: play on words, literally, quote, to cut around. I love little word plays like that when I can find them. If you've listened to the podcast at all or heard me preach at all, you know I don't know Greek. I know very, very, very little. But through study, sometimes you come across these things that are of just great interest and little plays on words or where a word is repeated or something. And that's just very helpful to me in my study. It's just one of those things that just makes the text come alive even more. And this is one of those for me. And again, if you want to connect it to verse 3 where he uses the word circumcision, by all means do that as well. But by having the phrase to cut around, and in my Bible, the word mutilate and the word circumcision are obviously not in the same verse because one's in verse 2 and one's in verse 3, but they're literally on the same line. And so I can see that there visually, but if you want to connect them, that might be helpful to you as well. But that's a note that encourages me, helps me, again, with just a neat play on words, a helpful thought, and maybe it helps you as well. Join us again next week for Something from the Margin of My Bible.